Hello everyone, welcome to Level Change channel. My name is Claudio Fonseca. I'm a real 777 pilot. Today we are going to perform a short flight between Rio de Janeiro Galeão International Airport and São Paulo Guarulhos International Airport. I will focus today on the FMC, not only preparation but all the FMC selections during the flight. Even though this is a short flight, there are a couple of things that we can consider while we are flying this sector, Rio São Paulo, the famous air bridge in Brazil. So to start, we go inside the airplane, and as you can see, the airplane is cold and dark. So we should start with our electrical power up. Okay, to have a smooth electrical power up, I'm going to come here to my FMC. This is not the way that we do in real life, but this is the way that we can do here on the sim. We can go to FS actions, ground connections, and a dual jetway. Not jetway, I want a dual GPU plugs. We are going to request this one. We also going to request air conditioning unit, and we do not have the bridge attached to the airplane. We can request the bridge as well, and the bridge is coming. Now we can open the door number. Well, we go back, we on the doors, we can disarm all, and then open the first door, the one that is going to, oh, it's connected on the second one. Okay, so let's go back, let's close this one Lima and open to Lima. Usually at this time, cargo doors are also open. We can open all of them. Let's make sure that they are open. Yes, they are opening right now. Also, we can ask for some vehicles. For example, we do need, where it is, let's think about Pmdg and cargo. Yes, on all of them. How about fuel truck? Oh, okay, here is the fuel truck. So that's what we have for now. Okay, fuel truck is connected here on the left side of the airplane. Okay, so this is everything that we need before starting our flight. Another thing that I'm going to do before we proper start this, actually we could start with our electrical power up. We make sure that battery is on. Now wipers are off, electric hydraulic pumps are off, air pumps are off. Also, we want to make sure that the landing gear is down. If I'm not mistaken, by memory, there is nothing else that we need to check right now. Yeah, it's all set. So we can turn on our primary external power and our secondary external power. As we have air conditioning connected, we can turn off packs and recirculation fans. This is the standard preparation for this airplane. Another thing that we are going to do while the airplane powers up is to check our flight plan. We are going to request data from SimBrief, so you can see our flight from Rio to São Paulo. This is our flight plan. We are expecting 45 minutes of flight time. We have 10 minutes contingency. Our alternate is Campinas, so minimum fuel that we need in São Paulo to alternate Campinas and still protect our 30 minutes of final reserve fuel is 6.9 tons, and our block fuel for today is 14.8 tons. Cost index 55 and cruise level 300. Our estimated takeoff weight 219, almost 220 tons, for a landing weight of 213.6 tons and zero fuel weight 205. This is not that much for a 777-300 that can have a maximum zero fuel weight of 237 tons. So we have a couple of data about zero fuel weight, weight level and speed change here. We don't really need to worry about it today. So our departure expecting to be Grok 1 Alpha from runway 15, and our arrival Edmus 1 Alpha to runway 10 right. We have the winds, all the information here, charts, the special charts. We do not have any hazard of weather, and let's look into our weather right now. Local weather for Galeão, Rio de Janeiro, 140 at 12. So we are going to have headwind for departure. Visibility is more than 10 kilometers. Fuel clouds at 3000. Fuel clouds 3500 with towering cumulus. 30 degrees. It's very hot now in Rio. And altimeter 1011. For São Paulo, Guarulhos, right now 110 at 6, variable between 080 and 140, more than 10, scatter clouds 3000, overcast at 5000, 23 degrees 1015. Right now time is, let me check here, let me use this status, and then right now is 3rd of November 1831. Let's say that we are going to be there around 20 UTC. So around 20 UTC we have tempo up to 20. Maybe we are going to face some thunderstorm rains, broken clouds at 1100 and fuel clouds 4500 with CB. After 20 it's well, just before 20, broken clouds 1600, and that's the what we were supposed to have after 20 as well, until 2100, when the wind starts changing a little bit back to 120 at 5, more or less what we have right now. So good weather for São Paulo, even though we may have some thunderstorm rain. Note that visibility never goes below 5 kilometers there, so it's not a big deal. For Campinas, light thunderstorm rain. There were recent rain, and we are expecting for our arrival maybe thunderstorm rain. Oh, I got the wrong date here. So we are still on the 3rd. So we are expecting 5000 rain and broken 1600. Okay, and after 21 then is broken 1100. So yeah, minimum visibility is not going to be below 5000, and we are expecting rain on our approach. Is pretty much, well, for Campinas then we have thunderstorm rain, a little bit worse, but visibility is not showing anything below 8000 meters. So rainy day in São Paulo, standard day for São Paulo, not a big deal. We have this 10 minutes contingency plus 30 minutes. Guarulhos, we have 2 runways, both are available. Campinas, we have 1 runway, and I think we don't really need more fuel than this. So that's what we have for the weather. Let's talk about some charts here. On the airport chart, we are going to look for the airport chart, parking spots. That's the one that we need. For the SID, we are expecting Grok 1 Alpha departure, runway 15. That's the one. We are going north. If we need to come back for some reason, longest runway here is runway 10. So this is the ILS with RNAV capabilities. That's the one that we are expecting. Yeah, this is Cat 2. We don't need, and Tango is standard all the way from. So if we need to come back on the ILS X-ray, vectors for the ILS X-ray or self-positioning to the ILS X-ray. So now on arrival, which is Guarulhos, of course we need the airport chart. We need the parking spots 1 through 6. For our arrival, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, Edmus 1 Alpha. We are going to land on runway 10 right. For 10 right, usually if the weather is good, we do Yankee, but I'm expecting today ILS Quebec. I'm not expecting segregated operations when it's IMC there. So that's it for our alternate, as this may be a short flight. If we need to alternate, it's better to have the charts ready. ILS Zulu runway 16 or X-ray, most probably ILS Zulu. Arrivals, we go to this side. Yeah, we'll be approaching from the southeast side, so Loled 1 Bravo. It's perfect. And even if we need to get out of Guarulhos on the way to Campinas, if I'm not wrong, Priority to Alpha departure is the one that takes us towards Campinas. So I'm going to keep Priority to Alpha departure also here. As I told you, I'm going to focus on the FMC, so it's good to have all the charts ready for our flight. Configuration we don't really need. I'm not this is the new navigation data update that we can do through the tablet. We don't really need it today. So here we are. We can start our preliminary pre-flight preparation, turning on the ADRU Army emergency exit lights. No smoking is on, seat belts are off as expected, and then we can clear all the messages, take the engine here and make a recall, make sure we don't have any accidents on the engines. Navigator inertial, cabin altitude auto, hydraulic pressure system left, center and right, engine shutdown, pack left and pack right, landing altitude, electrical IFE seats and electrical cabin utility off. It was not supposed to be there, so we turn them on. That's why you read all the messages here. So landing altitude, TKS, brake source, SATCOM, SAT voice lost, and doors. Next page, window heat also was supposed to be on. Previous crew didn't make all the preparation correctly, so I just want to go back, make sure we have doors, and the next one, fuel pressure, engine left plus right. That is correct for us today. Okay, so let's move to the first officer pre-flight procedure, just to complete all the pre-flight procedure for the first officer. I want to make sure everything is in place. Yep, it's all set here. Then on his side, we already talked about engine status is all fine, including hydraulic quantity, oxygen, TCAS is fine. This message because of the alignment. Checklist, we can make a full reset. And for the COM, flight information, 80's request, we can think about SBGL, go. Oh, I need to take it from the lower side, then SBGL works here, yep, and then we send. What else we can think about it here? So we need traffic, we need VOR on both sides, also airport, lowest range, altimeter, we are looking for hectopascals 1011, we want to make sure that is the one. Also we can do our oxygen mask test. So we are still waiting for our PFD and our ND after alignment to make sure we have everything in place. We got a new message, and this new message states Galiano information target at 800 Zulu, surface 14012, visibility more than 10, fuel clouds 3000, fuel 3500, temperature 30, dew point 21, QNH 1011, generated by Pmdg using vaccine data. That's what we need. Thank you so much. So here, auto brake RTO, and just want to make sure we have everything in place here. Data on the right side as well. Transponder standby 2000 for now. And by the way, I'm going to perform this flight connected to the VATSIM server, so give me a moment. I can turn on my vPilot, so just 1 second. So far we have Guilherme Macedo here, Turzin also, hello, thank you so much guys. Aviation Brasil saying boa tarde, obrigado. Leonardo Orestes also say good afternoon. Yeah, long time without being here. Precisava de umas férias, que estamos de volta. Herden Brown também, boa tarde, passando para desejar um like. O Fernando Santini, buenas, meu querido, boa live, acompanhando, deixando aquele like. Fábio Santos, buena, boa live. E o Abshakur Absalam, hey Captain, have you ever flown to Uganda before in real life? Yes, I did. I never stayed in Uganda. I did, I remember one flight was Lagos in Nigeria to Uganda, and then Uganda Entebbe, of course, and then to Nairobi. I had a layover in Nairobi, and once I was flying from São Paulo back to the Middle East when the Sudan airspace closed, and we had to avoid that airspace. There was no fuel to continue the flight to destination, so we end up in Entebbe for a short an hour turnaround just to refuel and prepare the flight back and the continuation to the Middle East. Otávio Flores, grande Fonseca, meu voo comandante, obrigado. Graciano Cateco, salve de Angola. Obrigado, Graciano. Bom ver a galera internacional por aí. Henrique Moura, boa tarde. Surpresa, live do Fera. Achei que havia parado com as lives. Um abraço. Paramos não. Fazemos elas em inglês, mas não paramos. Obrigado, Henrique. So, I'm almost connected to VATSIM. Let me just change my call sign to VRG1986, VARIG 1986. We have B77 Whiskey. That's it. So I am connected now. Let me just make sure I have the correct push to talk. Right control key, yes, that's the one that we want. So no one connected right now around us, not a big deal. Okay, so as I was telling you guys, I was finishing the first officer pre-flight procedure. Now we are going to perform captain pre-flight procedure. So VORs, plan 1011 is already there. Flight directors, I forgot on the first officer side. There we go. We are expecting runway 15. So most probably around 146 our heading. I think we have no restriction on this departure, so we are planning for flight level 300. And here I need airport, I need traffic, and we are good to go from this side. And let's just make sure, well, I will do the FMC later on, so we are going to wait a little bit to check our PFD and our ND. Everything else here is okay. Parking brake we need to set, and There we go. So we are just waiting to finish our FMC so we can work on the primary flight display and navigation display check, and then we can do our pre-flight checklist. Okay, so here it says that there is a message we need to enter inertial position. I'm going to clear this message. We are going to do it really soon. Our 777-300 G9115BL, it has an active database until 28th of November this year. I want to make sure I have correct fuel flow and drag. So if we come here, let me check on this one. As you can see, cruise degradation is plus 0.6. So I type arm. So now arm, drag and fuel flow, and our fuel flow needs to be plus 0.6. So we are going to have this amount of degradation, so our fuel is better calculated by the FMC. Okay, so here we go. Go to the next page, position initialization. Then reference airport is Sierra Bravo Golf Lima, and we are going to use the GPS position as our inertial position. Okay, now that we have the inertial align, we can do our PFD check and navigation display check. So basically on both sides we have to check that everything matches, and we have blank toga, speed as pre-selected 200 for now, 30,000 feet and heading 146, flight director, and altitude is correct, speed is 0, ground speed 0, track airport TKS and track is 150. It agree with our magnetic heading here, and also if we check on our compass, 150 is there. As we are on the ground, there are no wind correction at this point, so heading and track, they are the same. If we go to the right side, it's all the same, so we can do our pre-flight checklist before we continue with the FMC. So oxygen tested at 100%, tested 100% on the first officer side as well. Flight instruments, heading is 150, altimeter 1011, heading 150, altimeter 1011, also on the first officer side. So pre-flight checklist is complete. TCAS off, we can cancel this message and we can check on status that the TCAS message is not there anymore. Okay, so now let's focus on the FMC. We go to our route page, and then we can set our origin as Sierra Bravo Golf Lima, Rio de Janeiro Galeão, destination Sierra Bravo Golf Romeo, which is São Paulo Guarulhos International Airport, flight number Victor Romeo Golf 1986, and we can request our route. This page is not like in real life. This page does not exist in real life. This is something that Pmdg created for us to select what route we want. In this case, we want the route from SimBrief. Okay, so this page does not exist in real life. We can select it now, and then here it gives us a couple of options. We can already set the payload, so we are going to assume that all the passengers, they are on board by now. SimBrief payload is set, and we are also going to set our fuel. Okay, so SimBrief block fuel is set. Okay, at this stage, as we do not need any more, we can go here to vehicles and release our fuel truck, and as everybody is on board, we can release our cargo loaders as well, and we can go to the doors and close. Cargo doors are already closing. Yeah, so everything is closing. That's fine. So there we are. Next step is to why this is in this was supposed to be, everything was supposed to be in kilograms. So options, let me remember, aircraft displays, yes, kilograms and not pounds. Yes, please. So let's do route request again. Zero fuel weight, we set the payload, we make sure we have the correct one, and we set the fuel, we make sure we have the correct one, and then we select this route. As we select this route, we have the message route requesting, and now we are going to wait to load this route. So route request was sent. Next step is route 1 uplink is ready, we can load. And descent forecast uplink is ready, and route 1 uplink is loading, and wind data uplink is ready. A lot of messages. Perform uplink is also uplinking to our flight. We make sure we go to the next page, Sidur, Upper Zulu 10 and Edmus. That is our route, so we can activate and execute our route. Then we can go to departure and arrival, select runway 15 for departure. Our departure is Ugrok 1 Alpha, is the only SID that was on the second page. Note, I'm going to do it again with you. I first select the runway, because once I select the runway, all the SIDs that are not related to that runway, they disappear. So now runway 15. Okay, let me do it again. If you go to second page, you're going to see that here we have first page 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and on the next page another 5 SIDs. Okay, if I select, as I was doing, runway 15, and I go to the next page, I have only one. So you can see that 4 SIDs, they were deleted from here as I selected runway 15, and they are not available for runway 15. So Ugrok 1 Alpha is our departure. I can execute, and then departure and arrival index to Guarulhos. On arrival, most probably I'm going to have ILS Quebec runway 10 through Lomen. Same thing, I'm doing first selections on the right on the runway, and then I select my arrival, Edmus 1 Alpha. I can execute this, then I'm going to make sure that everything is in place. Just in a few seconds I'm going to do a route copy, so our route 2 right now is the same as route 1. Okay, also, as I selected the departures, I can change to this camera here and go to my pinned charts on the SID Ugrok 1 Alpha, and then I want to make sure that everything I have here is exactly as the FMC. So at 500 feet, we turn left towards Vuruk, and then left towards Ugrok. Then we have Ilnib flight level 130 or above, Loben 190 or below. I'm going also to select here 190 then. Already pre-selected 190. After Loben, we have Lishep. After Lishep, we have Sidur. It's all here. As this is a short flight, I'm going to do the same thing with our arrival. So we are arriving through Edmus, 260 or below, then Nivbu. Next step, Polyp 150 or below. Go from your 284, flight level 110 or below. Go from your 284 is 110 or above. 286 also 110 or above. 283 is at flight level 100. Then we have 287. Then we have 288, 85 or below. 289, 7,000 or below. Then Lomen 6,000 or above. And then at this point, ILS. I only have Yankee. So let's go back to arrivals, approach, and I also want ILS Quebec. Okay, so these two are pinned now, so I'm expecting ILS Quebec. And then for the ILS Quebec, Lomen 6 or above. 202, 5,100 or above, loop to 4,500 or above, and then we have Opser 4,100 or above, 3-degree glide path down to the runway, crossing the runway at 50 plus 2, 451. This is 2501 is there. Missed approach. Missed approach, it says here, we climb to 6,000, maintain course 095 until passing 3,300, and then we turn right direct to Izimu for holding. Maximum 230 knots is set, and the holding there is 130 inbound with right turns, 1 minute lag is all there, is all set for our FMC. Let me see, yeah, this one. So the route is perfect. We can cross-check here 265 miles. This can also be cross-checked with this information that we have on the flight plan. Ground distance 276 and we have 265. Difference is 11 miles, just because maybe some turns and some flybys that the airplane are going to do around the fixes. So we have the right one. And then let me continue here. So we got the route. I copy the route so we can go to performance initialization. We have information here for performance initialization. I'm going to accept this, but I want to make sure reserve this 6.9. Yes. Also, I need to see my zero fuel weight. Zero fuel weight, we are expecting to have 205.4. 205.4. Always round this up. Then cruise level today is flight level 300. Cost index is 55. There we go. Thrust limit, we are going to do our calculations really soon. Then we have the takeoff page, and also the engine out acceleration was supposed to be 1000. Acceleration standard 1000 and thrust reduction at 1000. We are going to make sure all of this is set according to the performance in a few seconds. On the legs page, on the route data, we can now load the winds and we can execute these winds. Also in FMC communication descent forecast, we can load the winds for the descent. Now we make sure we have everything set on VNAV page. Our climb speed 306 knots until Mach decimal 765, 250 below 10,000, transition altitude is 7,000. At cruise, we are going to be cruising at 0.76. It's an RVSM airspace, 137 miles already to top of descent. 9.2 is the fuel predicted in São Paulo. The descent is with Mach decimal 764 until we reach 279 knots, then 240 knots below 10,000 feet. Forecasted, we already have our transition altitude at flight level 90 and the wind is already there. So the next step for me is to come here to fix and to add the information according to the chart. What information I usually add here? So as you can see, we have standard or better minimum safe altitude or sector altitudes around the airport. So I'm going to use SBGL. And I'm going to enter a 25 miles ring. Let's just zoom this out. And you can see now that we have 25 miles ring around the airport. So we know that this is where we are protected through this MSA. In this case, 9,000 or flight level 095 on our departure. Okay, and the south sector here is 5,000, and after we cross 160 is 6,300. We think 10 miles 5,500. So the highest MSA for us today is flight level 095. I also select here flight level 095. That is much better. so I have an indication where I'm going to reach flight level 95, and also transition altitude is 7,000. Even though it's selected on the VNAV, I also enter on the fixed page, so I have an indication where I'm going to reach the transition altitude as well. Our engine out, in case we have any issues with our on our departure, okay, usually on runway 15 we turn left towards the same point Vuruk, but after Vuruk, instead of continue north where we have high terrain, we fly to Porto das Caixas, Papa Charlie X-ray, which is 11 miles. So let me try to show this to you. Okay, so this is our standard SID in magenta, but if something goes wrong, we are not going to turn towards north, because you know that there is high terrain here close to Ugrok. So basically we turn towards Vuruk and then we fly Papa Charlie X-ray here on the east sector, so it's much safer and we can hold there around 5,000 feet is more than enough. Okay, so I can even enter here hold at this fix. We can select inbound 099 is good enough. Instead of doing for 1 minute, I'm going to do 5 miles, and altitude is 5,000 or above. That's the minimum altitude that we need to maintain at this place. In case we need to come back, as I told you, we are going to perform ILS. Let me remember which ILS we were planning on the way back to runway 10, ILS X-ray, and we can do it through position Almos. Okay, so ILS X-ray runway 10 through position Almos. Okay, and then I come back to the legs page, I take Almos and I insert after the discontinuity, after the engine out. Okay, so basically we have the engine out going toward the Porto das Caixas, and then we are going to request vectors if we need to come back through here to this place Almos. Let me change this, so yeah, here you can see now Almos. So we hold there until we are comfortable to start our return. We fly towards Almos and we complete the ILS runway 10, which has a minimum of ILS for category Delta, which is our airplane, 216. So I'm going to select here 216 already on the bottom. So in case we need to come back, is already preset. So 216, and I can reset. If I need, I just press 216 is going to be there. Okay, so I think that concludes our FMC preparation, at least until the point that we need to insert our takeoff data. Okay, so we are expecting, yeah, so the top of climb is 70 miles, all set. The next step would be to select our minimas and thrust and so on. So we are going to perform our calculations right now. So I'm going to go to performance tool, Galeão runway 15. I'm going to import everything from the airplane as we have all the information already set. So flap optimum, rating optimum, anti-ice off, air conditioning auto, CG is there. We have, I'm only going to remove the wind, so I'm going to use a more conservative wind, no wind in this case, and I'm going to calculate acceleration height. So I forgot to change the acceleration height for the 777 at this time. We are going to use the information that we have here. It's not a big deal. We need the takeoff 2 today. So takeoff 2, select temperature of 45, then takeoff flaps 5, CG what we have is 28.7, so CG 28, speeds 145, 149 and 156. They match what we have here on the FMC. And on the next page then, engine out, acceleration and everything we are going to perform at 1500, because I forgot to change to my current company standard of 1000. As we have the information here 1500, I'm going to do like this today, so you don't get confused between the information provided here. Okay, so 156 is our V2. 156 LNAV and VNAV. Just to make sure, I want to check if there is any controller. So no controllers around us, so we don't really have to worry about controllers. So we have our, let's consider that we have our clearance, and we are going to be talking to everybody on 122.8. Emergency frequency on the left side always. So there we go, 121.5. Okay, now that everybody is on board and we are pretty much ready to go, nothing else to perform here apart from starting our APU at this stage, and we can come here and on ground connections release our air conditioning unit. As the air conditioning unit is off, we can turn on our packs and recirculation fans, just waiting for the APU to be started. At this stage, we can also start disconnecting our jet bridge. Yeah, jet bridge is disconnected, and we want to make sure that the doors, we have all of them closed. Next page. Yeah, looks like everything, yeah, all doors are closed, and we still have some trucks around. Let's see, vehicles. We can release the galley. Yes, that's it. I think that was the last one. Yep, that was the last one. Now let's just wait for the APU. We can come here on status to check 99, 100%. So APU running, we should get a message. APU running, yes, we have a message APU running. So we can turn off our primary external power. The secondary is turned off automatically. And now we can disconnect this external. So we release. Next step would be for us to ask GSX for our pushback and departure. Let's go with DNATA. So they are going to connect really soon. And the last step is to remove the wheel shocks. Okay, now we talk to everybody and we make sure that we are ready to go. We can start with the before start procedure. So at this stage, seat belts on, right electrical demand pump auto, primary pumps on, and the rest of the demand pumps to auto as well. Fuel pumps on the main tanks on, beacon on, recall engine shutdown and TCAS off, and at this stage transponder to transponder. I cannot hear anything. Let me, I want to make sure that I'm on the correct one. Sound, headphones, yes. Now you're going to hear as well. And we are ready for the before start checklist, which states flight deck door closed and locked, MCP. V2 is 156, heading 146 if I'm not mistaken. 148 should be 148. And altitude flight level 190. Takeoff speeds V1 145, VR 149, V2 156. CDU pre-flight completed. trim. Trim I didn't select, 5. So I need to use my trim here to take this to 5. 5, yes. So I need a nose right, tail left. Yep. And then 0 and 0. Taxi and takeoff briefing is complete. Before start, checklist is complete. Engine here, and they requested to release parking brake. Galeão traffic, Vargue 1986, pushback and start, new terminal, terminal 5. So there we go, releasing parking brake. So let's start the right engine first. And there we go. As we start our right engine, let's see what you guys are talking about here. Hello, good afternoon, Fonseca. It's been a while. How are you? I'm very good, Eric. I had to take a few days from YouTube. Now I'm back. We are going to have live streams and videos again. Passando para deixar o like, boa live, obrigado Aeromax. O Rafa, hey Fonseca, love the surprise to have you again streaming. Welcome back, man. Thank you, obrigado Rafa. Obrigado pelo apoio. Pacheco, grande Fonseca, valeu Pacheco. Octávio Flores, comandante, aquele Plus 0.6 FF vai fazer o consumo de combustível ser maior? Não vai fazer o consumo em si ser maior, vai fazer com que o FMC calcule o consumo como 0.6 maior, que é o que acaba tendo nessa aeronave, tá? Isso varia de aeronave para aeronave, tá? É só o cálculo, é para o cálculo do FMC ficar correto, tá? Mas não muda o consumo da aeronave em si. Alexandre Baumgarten, that's a real simulation flight. Many thanks, Fonseca. Obrigado, Alexandre. Obrigado aí pela presença também. So we just started our left engine as well, or we are starting now our left engine. The 777 is quite easy. Engine start to start and fuel control switch to run, and that's it. You don't need to do anything else. So both engine starts are complete. You can stop our pushback here, my friend. Okay, let's go there to set our parking brakes. So, good engine start.
We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
So now we select flaps 5, and after selecting flaps 5, the FO can turn off APU. Make sure anti-ice is auto, because we don't need anything today. Recall we stick as off, and we are ready to go. Captain can do flight controls check. Right, left, full up, full down. Usually is slower than this. Full left, full right, full left in this case. And that's it. We are ready for our before taxi checklist. So anti-ice is auto, recall checked, flight controls checked, ground equipment is being clear right now. I'm going to consider clear just to expedite, and we want to make sure that we are going to have the guy leaving. So I'm going to remove my webcam. There we go. He's leaving. Our taxi out here is straight ahead. Then we take the second one, the one closer to the runway. We go all the way northwest to take off runway 15. So, Galeão traffic, Varig 1986, start taxiing from International Terminal to runway 15. So, taxi light is on. The guy moved. Parking brake released. In real life, the airplane starts moving by itself. Here we need a little bit of thrust. Not a big deal. Airplane is moving. Just in case, I'm going to get out of the developer mode. Yep, we don't need developer mode for this live stream. There we go. Nothing much to do right now. It's getting really close to these buildings on the right side. I think they are not on the right place. Anyway, we are going to take this taxiway here to the left. Okay, so my tiller is not working. Let me just make sure I have the correct setup here. Sorry, is on options, simulation, and I only have rudder for today. Yep, there we go. Now my tiller is going to work. Here we go. Second taxiway to the right. All the way to the holding point, runway 15. As we are light today, the initial altitude of flight level 130 or above is not a big deal, but if you are heavy departing from Rio on this departure, you may need to increase your thrust or reduce your airspeed as you climb out to make sure you can cross it at the correct altitude. There we go. So this is a straight line now. We are out of the apron. We should get cabin ready really soon. By the way, I think our doors are not... Yeah, doors are manual. They were supposed to be armed. We need the doors armed, yeah, for taxi. We can start our push, engine start also with the doors manual, but we need the doors auto for taxi. I forgot to check this during, before our taxi. Triple seven guy, hello Claudio, saludos desde Anchorage. Hello my friend. Nice to hear from you as well. My God, man, you are in a place colder than I am right now. I'm in Chicago, and I'm going to fly this afternoon, so I still have 3 hours before my pickup here. Today easy flight going back to the Middle East as crew B, so I'm trying to get tired for the first rest today. Are you based in Anchorage? Or you're just around today? We are still waiting for the cabin ready. I think cabin is still not ready, but maybe we missed that call. So we are going to set our weather radar on the right side, weather radar on the left side, terrain on the right side. And then we can do our before takeoff checklist. Before takeoff checklist complete. Checklist complete. There we go. Ready to go. Oh my god, man, when you guys talk about Fahrenheit, I'm lost. I'm completely lost. Even the meters in US, is ground centigrades. Why you still use Fahrenheit? I really don't understand. Based in Memphis. Arrive early today from Kansai. Yep. We do that flight, but our flight from Kansai goes all the way to Mexico City usually. Yeah, by the way, I on my room right now temperature is Fahrenheit 74. So I assume, oh, now we got cabin ready. I assume 30 is quite low. Not good for a Brazilian that lives in the Middle East, man. Not good at all. So we are approaching the holding point. Nobody around. I'm going to reduce the speed just to make a broadcast to all. Rio traffic, Galeão, Vari 1986, lining up for takeoff, runway 15, Grok 1 Alpha departure to São Paulo. Okay, here we go. Ready to go. Speed 9 knots, more than okay. Always oversteering the 300. Especially without camera. Look, you see? Even oversteering a little bit, we are still away from our center line. Going to get the turn here. And back to the left. Here we go. On the 777, 55% and 1. Until you press toga. I don't know where are my commands right now, so I'm going to use the quick spot here. Thrust ref. Set takeoff thrust. Thrust set. 80 knots checked. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. LNAV. Thrust ref. VNAV speed. I'm pretty sure that there is a camera for this, yes. My flight director was a little bit wrong. Thanks God we were flying, not only following the magenta. Flaps 1. Flaps up. Now with the autopilot center, autopilot is on. Now the flaps are up, we can do our after takeoff checklist, which is set for after takeoff checklist complete. And there we are. Climbing out of Rio. Old Varig airplane. This is a good camera for us. VNAV page. We are climbing quite fast. Almost 4,000 feet per minute. Passing now 6,000 feet. Transition altitude is 7,000 feet. So we are reaching transition altitude. We can set our altimeters to standard. Standard set, cross-checked. Remember to keep your heading bug updated all the time. No need more than 40 for this short sector. We are about to reach MSA at level 9.5. As you can see, high terrain in this area in Rio. So there we go, this is MSA. And here we are now crossing 10,000, accelerating to 306 knots. We can take the seat belts to auto. No smoking to auto. Actually, this airplane is no smoking and not no electronics, so no smoking should be on all the time. We don't really have airplanes with no smoking anymore. We have no bottom or no electronics, so no smoking is not part of our cabin anymore. Most probably you cannot hear this. I want to make sure I have guys, let me know if you heard ATC audio was off. So I just turn it on now. Yeah, you were not listening to other guys on VATSIM. I just turn it on now. Now should be okay. Ooh, white is not TARA. Thank you guys. Yeah, I clicked it and it was not there, and I didn't check on my navigation display. There was a amber message there that I didn't check. Thank you guys. Thank you for correcting me here. Claudio, try this program, Real Acres. Interact seamless and nice with Pmdg. I will look for it. Let me take a note. I think I heard about it. I just want to make sure that the information that we get and the time that we get is closer to my airline, because if that's the program that I'm thinking about, there are some differences, especially when you receive your takeoff performance,
Fine, runway 20 left.
which actually we don't get it. So if at least there is a way to disarm those things. So real ACARS. Yeah, I just added to my notes and I'm going to check. Thank you so much. So speed VNAV path, because we are reaching flight level 190. As there is no one around, we are going to keep climbing flight level 300. There we go. Thrust ref, VNAV speed. So let me see if we can take sun visors. How we do this again? We click here. Yes. Yeah. Just want to move better. There we go. Too much sun today, guys. In real life we put 2 in front here, but here we cannot. It's only 1. Real life we put 2 in front here and it helps a lot. And actually we don't really need this, so we can close this. There we go. So next page. We are 92 miles to top of descent. Maybe it's a good time to start working on our arrival. So flight information, ATIS request. At this time I'm going to change this to lower center. I'm going to use this side, SBGR. And we request new ATIS to get the information for Guarulhos. Why is so uncommon for the 777ER to fly above flight level 350? Because of the weight. Because of the weight. Today we are quite light. And the maximum is 392. So 392, as you can see, optimum 387. We would be climbing to something like a 380 if it was a longer flight. But have in mind that right now we have gross weight of 216 tons, and sometimes we have a zero fuel weight of 216 tons. Sometimes we depart with maximum takeoff weight of 350 tons. So usually when it's 350 tons, depending on the wind as well and the CG, we may be limited flight level 270 or 280 or 290. Okay, it's very common 28 and 29 if you depart at 350 tons. So as you are losing your fuel, as you're burning your fuel, you are going to reduce your weight, and usually at the end of the flight on a 777 fully loaded with passengers and cargo, you will be flying around flight level 360, 370 maximum. It's very rare that we climb at least to 38. 38 is very rare. We need to be quite light as we are today. But today is a short flight, and then we do not have enough time to climb and descend from a higher level like 350 that you mentioned, Abdisalam. You are perfectly right. It's very rare to fly above 350. Nice cloud, say Graciano. In other words, Real Acres is giving you all information generated by SimBrief and the takeoff performance from the tablet. You will get slot, initial and final load sheet and some random company message. Yeah, I will try that one. I will try for sure. It looks like it's a real nice system. So let's see, we got a message here by ATC. So Guarulhos International Airport information Bravo. Expect the procedure ILS Yankee runway 10, landing runway 10, departure 10 left. So landing 10 right, departing 10 left, transition level 085, segregated operations in progress 130 at 6, between 100 and 160, more than 10, scattered 3000, overcast 5000, 23, 1015. Acknowledge receive information Bravo. Okay, so we need to change our arrival. Okay, so we go to index, arrival in Guarulhos, now is ILS Yankee, low main transition, all the rest is the same. Actually it's the same procedure with a higher minimas. I can execute, and then we also have on VNAV, next page and forecast, transition level 085, we need to change this to 085, and altimeter is 1015. So altimeter, we can pre-select here 1015. Minimus for this approach is 3000 feet. Let's see if I can do it fast all the way to 3000 feet. Woohoo! Was not that difficult. I'm still getting there. 3000. Okay, we have some weather around. So far it's okay. It looks like that we have clear weather ahead of us. This is not helping at all. Okay, maybe we need to deviate slightly to the left. I'm going to do as an offset. 5 miles is too much. 3 miles just to get away from this one right now, and then we go back to our arrival. Okay, so we got information Bravo. We have everything we need to know for information Bravo. Oh, now the weather is gone, so we can delete this offset and go back to our route. Okay, so minimas is 300, not 3000, not 3001. And thanks God we have a good performance tool here for landing en route. Runway 10 right. We can import everything from the airplane. Now the weather, so no credit for reverses. Auto brake 3. Ref plus 5. And 2128 meters for a total of 3000 meters is more than enough. So 213.8 is what we need here on our FMC. So for approach 213.8, speeds 138. Let's make sure it matches 138 plus 5, 143. That's what we have. Perfect. So, and auto brake we are going to select as auto brake 3. Everything else is pre-selected. So for the FMC, the only thing that you need is the approach reference page, and then make sure the navigation radius they match the chart. So let's go to our electronic flight bag on the charts, ILS Yankee. So important 111.7, final approach course 095, and the minimus for this approach is 3000 feet. All set. Another thing that I'm going to do, oh, by the way, the minimus here, they are based on the airport as well, 5,900, so let's consider 6,000 to be easy. So now we have SBGR, 25 miles, and I'm going to take also the runway into consideration on the fixed page, and I'm going to set a 4-mile arc because that is, or 4-mile ring, that is the place that I want to be fully stable. 085 or flight level 085 in this case is our transition level, and MSA 5,900. So we have everything set now for our arrival, or it should be. Let's make a recall. Checklist, we make sure there are no notes, so we are all set. And if we have information Bravo from somewhere, we were supposed to have an ATC, but so far I don't see an ATC, so we are going to start the descent by ourselves. And there are some weather, so I'm going to fly heading 300 for now. Heading south. So we start deviating from the weather. We'll do the checklist in a minute just to make sure we have everything correct. So we are arriving with 8.4 and we need 7. So we have 1.5 tons, so basically we have 15 minutes for holding. We already know more or less what we are going to do. So briefing is also complete. We can do the descent checklist, which states for recall checked, notes checked, auto brake 3, landing data, VREF 30-138, minimums 3000, VREF 30-138, minimums 3000 on both sides, and approach briefing is complete. So descent checklist is also complete. There we go. Yeah, not a really nice weather in São Paulo. I just want to make sure if we have wet runway, if this is still a good braking. Yeah, still good braking. Let's consider wind 0. It's good enough for our approach. Okay, not a big deal. If this was a real weather radar, I would be really scared with this black part here in the middle of the cloud, also on the right side here, because usually that's when you have the red and the magenta ones. It looks like that the cloud is blocking the rest of radar return, so I will not be flying through that area. So my plan is to keep on this heading until we are here and then fly parallel to the airport and then join the arrival there. I'm not going to go through all these clouds. So instead of resetting MCP altitude right now, what I'm going to do is I am not able to select this. Okay, so I set on the legs. Yeah, it's not going to allow me to do to create a better route here. So I'm going to start the descent. Initially 10,000 feet on speed, vertical speed. Descent speed for us today is 279, so 280 on the speed. And I'm going to descend (1,300 feet per minute). Weather is getting a little bit better here, worse later on. So this heading now, so maybe I'm going to do like this and this. Oh, let's keep the track here for now, and then if we have a chance we cut later on. Diego Ferreira, hello, good afternoon, welcome to Brazil. Thank you, Diego. So here we are, descending towards São Paulo. Weather does not look good. Slightly better here, but I still need to fly north of these big sails before going back to our arrival. There we are. Let's see from outside. You see, it looks like we have a gap on the clouds ahead of us. There we go. Yeah, maybe after this to join Go From Your 287. So right now, seatbelts to on. Everybody seated for this crossing. Yeah, I'm not going to fly that arrival for sure. Maybe we can think about going to 287. If we give a direct 287 right now, it's still not good enough. But maybe on the heading 270. 270 it's better, but not enough. 250. Yeah, 250 is on the corner there. 260, and that's good enough. I am going to execute, and then we have a better navigation, vertical navigation, so I can start using flat level change to go down. São Paulo Guarulhos traffic, Vargem 1986 inbound from Rio. We are deviating to the north on the arrival and expecting to intercept standard arrival short by Go From Your 287 inbound Guarulhos, runway 10 right. So there we go. Good enough. Yeah, maybe slightly right here and then 287 and Lomen down there. I assume that below 7,000 feet there will be no big threats to us. So this one we keep on VNAV. We keep monitoring our descent. With this weather, I really doubt that the runway is going to be dry. Okay, now we see some space here. I can see the ground there. Vertical speed reducing a little bit. Just to make sure we go above these clouds and then into that hole there. You see the weather radar is not showing anything to our right, so it's always good to look outside as well. Okay, getting on top of these clouds. Now it's time to level change again. To go down and get out of this cloud as soon as we can. I'm still staying slightly to the right of this weather return. Maybe we have something at the bottom here. Let's see. As we cross the level of these first clouds, maybe we can go straight to the fixes on our arrival below the clouds. That's another idea. But for now, I'm visually deviating from the clouds that we have in front of us now, while I still maintain some separation from the weather radar returns that we have further down. So here we are. You can already see the 25 miles ring around Guarulhos, which defines our MSA. So when we are within this 25 miles within this circle, we can go down to 6,000, actually 5,900 without any issues. That's why I'm maintaining 10,000 feet. I know 10,000 feet on this area in Brazil, it's more than safe. Actually, 10,000 feet is safe almost everywhere in Brazil, apart from areas close to Pico da Bandeira and areas close to Venezuela. So in this area, it's quite okay, 10,000 feet. We do have some clouds towards the airport. Can start turning bound a little bit. So now here the weather is good, so I'm going to take passenger signs back to auto, tell cabin crew prepare for landing slightly before 10,000, so they can prepare for landing right now, give me the cabin ready, and then I set the seat belts on and we have everybody seated for our landing. Leonardo, Fonseca, estou fazendo o tour da Ival de Long Haul e a última leg é Hong Kong para Nova York, aproximadamente 7.500 milhas. O 777 Whisky faz Cathay Pacific faz esse voo com o 777-300. Pode ir que vai. So here I'm going to select a small zoom. We can see the entire approach later on. This looks nice. slightly right and then left into here towards Loming. We are slightly high. We are going to reach 10,000 feet within the 25 miles, so I'm going to descend to the procedure minimum altitude 6,000 feet. I don't see any controller online, so we keep our flight on 121.5, or sorry, on 122.8. I want to reduce to 50, but I also want to get down below these clouds. So if I start reducing now, I may get into this cloud, so not a big deal at this area of the world to maintain 250, more than 250 below 10. It's a Class C terminal arrival area here. So what I'm expecting basically is from 287 towards Lomé. And not even fly 287. But let's see how we can deal with this. Okay, now it's getting too close to the cloud seatbelt zone again. We are descending to 6,000. We can pre-select 1015, which is the current altimeter, so 1015. And we can do approach checklist, altimeter 1015 and altimeter 1015. Pre-flight, approach checklist is complete. Okay, these clouds are not too bad. So 250 now. And I'm going to do this turn here. Let me see how it is inbound Lomé. Yes, inbound Lomé, that's what we need now. LNAV. And here we are. If later on we are getting close to this yellow area here and the clouds, they are still ahead of us, not above, we can make a right turn towards the west here and then intercept Lomé further down. Okay, we can go to this area and intercept Lomé. I also don't want to delay much our flight because this weather is going towards Guarulhos. So cabin is ready. We are ready for our approach. This is 10,000 feet, so lights on. Looks okay to me. India Golf Hotel is already pre-selected. Yep. So it's time to start reducing for our approach. Not much that we can do now. Apart from flying through these clouds here, they are not that bad. I can see the ground below. Boa tarde, comandante. Abraço. Obrigado, Fábio. Alvarenga, o 200LR tem mais autonomia do que o 777 Whisky, correto? Tem mais autonomia, sim. Porque ele é uma aeronave mais leve, então consegue ir mais longe com a mesma quantidade de passageiro e de carga. Você consegue ir mais longe porque o avião em si é mais leve, mas também você não consegue botar todos os passageiros que cabem num 300ER. Osvaldo Neto Fonseca, I'm flying 777-200 from Sydney to Auckland. At this moment I'm Eval Network. Your videos are my school, thanks. Obrigado, Osvaldo. Obrigado pela mensagem. Thank you so much. I'm really happy that I'm helping you guys around. Thanks. So I'm going to maintain vertical speed right now. Actually, VNAV is the best option for me with window open. Yeah, not a really good weather here in São Paulo, but that's what we have for today. Guarulhos traffic VARG 1986. We are 1 minute to start the ILS Yankee procedure into Guarulhos. Ricardo Valentim, qual avião vale mais a pena baixar? O A380 da Fly-by-Wire ou o 777 da Pmdg? Ricardo, o 380 eu não testei, mas ele é gratuito, né? Então você baixa ele aí e voa de boa. O 777 da Pmdg você já vai ter que pagar. Então baixa aí o 380, vê como é que você vai com ele aí, vê se se o teu simulador comporta, e aí se for bom você fica com ele, caso contrário você pula pro 777. So now flaps 1, speed check, flaps 1 selected. We can reduce our speed. Next altitude 5,100. We have 14 knots tailwind right now, that's why the airplane is not decelerating, so I'm going to extend flaps 5, speed check, flaps 5. Reducing the speed to 180 knots. 5,100, we are fine. We have 4,500 for loop 2, and that's the altitude that we intercept the glide slope.
2,500.
Radio altimeter is alive. So far so good, no traffic around. I hope that my sim and Guarulhos gear down airport is good enough for my hardware. We are going to check that in a minute. So we are staying below the glide slope. That's what we want. That's what it actually happens in São Paulo. So we can now arm our approach mode. Guarulhos traffic, Varg 1986, intercepting 8 mile, final runway 10 right. Localizer is capture. Glide slope is alive. As soon as we finish this turn to the final, I'm going to extend the gear down, flaps to 20. There we go. Those are the runways for Guarulhos. So gear down, flaps 20.
São Paulo Congonhas, azul 2636 na final do ILS da nossa direita.
There is São Paulo approach.
São Paulo, autorizado o pouso no 7 da direita de Congonhas, vento 150 com 109, ajuste 10 no meia.
0 no meio, leve pouso no 7 direito, o azul 236.
São Paulo, boa tarde, Varg 1986.
Varg 1986, muito boa tarde contra São Paulo, pouso autorizado 10 da direita de Guarulhos, vento 140 com 79, ajuste 1015.
10 no 5, autorizado pouso, pista 10 direita, Varg 1986. Desculpa, não apareceu o senhor online aqui pra mim.
Acabei de entrar, tranquilo.
Valeu. Sorry guys, I had to talk to São Paulo approach. Now flaps 30, landing checklist. I still have to arm the speed brake. Yeah, landing checklist is complete. Missed approach altitude is 6,000. So we are all set for landing. So far, sim looks good. 1,000 feet, we are stable. Wind is shifting a little bit.
Controle São Paulo, uma boa tarde. O Gol no 996 no solo solicita plano de voo por instrumentos para Salvador, no nível de voo
Ok,
370.
manual flight.
Cliente da informação a TIS, pronto para cópia.
Gol 1996, muito boa tarde, controle São Paulo. Plano de voo.
Continue.
Tá pronto, cópia.
Pronto, cópia o Gol no 996.
No 996.
It's Go 1996. I did a lot of times 1996 in Go real life.
Perfil de saída voo 4 Alfa com transição VUMEV. A rota conforme o plano, aciona
Flight to Navegantes. Voo 996 para navegantes da Gol, fiz muito. Voo 1996. Um pouquinho alto, a little bit high now here.
Autorizado o plano de voo para Salvador, nível de voo 370, rota conforme o plano, decola da pista 10 da esquerda, perfil de saída AMIVU 4 Alpha com transição em VUMEV, código transponder é o 3711 para o Gol 1996.
Speed brake up, idle reverse.
1996, contingimento
We
correto.
take second left on Charlie.
Vai chamar para push.
We still have the auto brakes working.
1996.
It's going to be more than enough. So as we have idle reverse, I'm taking out of idle. Now speed.
986, seu solo foi azul no 5, livra à esquerda agora na Charlie. Charlie tem parte de preferência?
Charlie, nós vamos para o pátio 6.
Está autorizado o cruzamento da 10 da esquerda após táxi via November, Alpha e Kilo até o pátio 6, posição 602.
Cruza 10 esquerda, November, Alpha, Lima, Kilo para o 602. Varg 1986.
November, Alpha, Kilo.
November, Alpha, Kilo, obrigado. So we got clearance to cross runway 10 left, then November Alpha Kilo position 602.
2636, seu solo também foi azul no 5, livrou na Índia.
This was a long landing today.
Pátio 1,
I lost the approach profile on the short final.
Está autorizado via Lima Mike até o
While I was talking about Go 19,
Pátio 3, posição 6.
996, 1996. So first one is Bravo. So he wants Alpha. So we take the second to the left. So I'm going to do this turn here, and then we think about our after landing procedures. So here we oversteer. We wait it arrives to the middle of this window, and then we turn, and if you see outside, you will see the airplane remains inside the taxiway all the time. Okay, so that's the way we do the turns. 90 degrees turn to the left, we wait the taxi line to get to the center of this window. If we are going to the other side, we wait the taxiway that we are going to come to the center of this window, and then we start the turn. Okay, so now we can work on lights off. We can work on weather, radar and terrain off. Auto brake off. Flaps up. Transponder
Madagascar 47, good evening, this is São Paulo Control, do you receive?
to transponder, and we are all fine. So TCAS off, we can cancel, and that's it. Here we go, we continue our taxi now. Eduardo Oliveira, olá, boa tarde, já deixei o like grande pra você aí, show de transmissão, live show de bola, esse voo vai ser top demais hoje. Como foi seu dia? Sou seu fã de carteirinha, manda um salve aí, valeu Eduardo, salve, abraço comando, tamo junto. Amazing approach, Graciano Cateco, thank you. Butterland, Leonardo Orestes, yes, was a Butterland, but a little bit deep on the runway. I have a big problem here. Let me take my webcam to talk to you again. I'm running all of these on a laptop, as many of you know, so it's a very small screen, and if I zoom in too much, I lose the environment around and what I'm used to see in real life, so it's harder for me to fly. And if I'm keep the zoom out like in real life would be, the problem is that I don't see the instruments really well, and especially at this stage when you have no feeling of the airplane, where you need to maintain a precise angle of descent, a precise rate of descent, it's a little bit difficult to maintain a nice approach, but that's what I have now. So gate 602 we go.
Força Aérea 2973, muito boa tarde, controle São Paulo. Plano de voo recebido, está pronto, cópia?
Pronto, cópia, está 2973.
So that is 602, where we go.
2973 está autorizado.
Okay, we are
Nível voo 270 terminando em
not yet,
Guarulhos.
so let's make the right turn here.
Guarulhos,
Let's look to the right. When we have the taxiway center line in the middle of this screen, we start. And we do have now, so we start. If we go outside, you will see that this is perfectly fine, and it maintains the airplane inside. Inside the markings. Okay, this 602, so we can start APU now, taxi light off.
Chamará apenas estacionamento sem necessidade de pushback 2973 pesado.
Now I'm going to reduce the speed to 5 knots.
Bota 3207 na cruz de Golf Romeo 247 em descida.
602 is coming.
Então, 3217, muito boa tarde, controle São Paulo. Por gentileza, zona transponder 373, identifique.
373, identifica, tá 3217.
So one more time, when the 602 is in the middle of this, we can start the turn. There we go.
Controle São Paulo, Gol no 996 no solo Guarulhos, pronto para pushback e acionamento.
Gol 1996, autorizado pushback e acionamento na Yankee, com cauda à direita, chama pronto táxi.
Pushback na Yankee com cauda
Okay,
direita.
he's asking a little bit to
1996.
the right, and now it's straight away, it's right with to the left.
Na presente às 25 milhas noroeste do VOR de Campinas. Tá autorizado vá direto Sampa para o nível de voo 090 via Evral 1 Alfa.
Aí direto Sampa 090.
Right to right, okay.
São Paulo, Fonseca 293 pesado, pronto para acionamento.
Almost stopping.
Estacionamento, chamou pronto táxi.
Manda para ataque 293 pesado.
And there we go. We stop, we are clear to queue engine, so parking brake is on, APU is running, and we can queue engines and start our shutdown procedure. Transponder 2000, and the last step is the shutdown checklist, which states for parking brake. Right now parking brakes are set, shutdown checklist is complete, and to finish this we can disarm all the doors, we can request for the shocks, so shocks are there, we can remove parking brake, and then we can request the jet bridge. Jet bridge is going to come here to our Varig airplane. And here we are in São Paulo, Guarulhos. Thank you so much everybody that follow me through today. Felipe Apis, sou piloto de 77 também, muito bom seus vídeos, parabéns. Obrigado, Felipe. É muito bom escutar e ter esse tipo de reconhecimento dos colegas aí. A gente sabe que a nossa galera não é muito unida, né? Mas eu tô aí. Que eu puder ajudar, e se você puder me mandar depois em qualquer comentário aí, em qualquer vídeo, telefone ou e-mail pra gente manter contato aí, eu agradeço. Beleza, Felipe? Valeu, obrigado por acompanhar os vídeos aí. Apertem os cintos, chegou o Quesadinha. Let's go fly A380, see you soon. Vai lá, Quesada, vai voar o 380, que é pesado até para o simulador, é a legítima aeronave pesada, heavy de pesada e heavy de consumir hardware aí da galera, faz parte, né? So guys, thank you so much everybody that was here with me today. We got more than 400 visualizations. Right now we have 23 people. We got top of 34 people with us today. It's not too much, but it's a good restart for the channel. So guys, I hope to see you more around. Have a good week. Bye bye. See you guys.
Afirmo.